The 2023-24 school year in the region was a season for the history books. We saw drama, we saw dominance, and we saw destiny. In a year filled with upsets, unexpected finishes, and unlikely heroes, we at GameDay One commemorate it all with a time capsule, honoring not just the best athletes, but those who will stand the test of time. Not just the great, but the elite. This summer, GameDay One will honor the top 5 male and top 5 female athletes from the 2023-2024 school year. In partnership with Veolia, we present the GameDay One Elite. GameDay One Elite, Adriana Palumbo, Pleasantville. It's one thing to be an accomplished athlete. It's a whole nother to be a trailblazer. Adriana Palumbo can confidently call herself that. The junior standout has put Pleasantville High School and Section 1 girls wrestling on the map at the state and national levels. Palumbo was the first ever Section 1 competitor to claim a New York State title this winter and went on to finish 4th last week at the national meet in Fargo, North Dakota. She began the season by becoming the first female to ever win the prestigious New York Super 32 tournament and continued to rack up tournament titles in the ensuing months. All that despite only beginning her wrestling career 3 years ago, transitioning from martial arts to wrestling, where she immediately became one of the most feared and decorated athletes in her sport over the last decade. Her journey from being almost seriously injured in her first ever match 3 years ago to becoming a 2-time All-American is an inspiring one and is a story that every athlete should hear. And we are joined now by the phenom, Adriana Palumbo from Pleasantville High School, who joins us, who is now our next member of our GameDay One Elite list, top 10 athletes of the last school year. So Adriana, congratulations on that. It's you know, as you probably are well aware, you know, we pick guys like, you know, Daniel Picard, who you know from school, and Boogie Flan, big stars. You're obviously a name who's in a sport where it's not as much notoriety, but is, you know, getting recognized like this, I think you've more than earned it. How's your summer going so far?
It's going good, Yeah, I really appreciate this.
Great. You just said you came back from a very popular vacation spot just now. You said yes. You were in Fargo, is that right?
Yes, Fargo.
Tell me about the Fargo and going out there and competing in nationals in wrestling.
So it's pretty much the biggest tournament of the high school season for off-season freestyle. It's not the same thing as the wrestling that you do in school. It's a different style. Mm-hmm. It's the one that you do in the Olympics, actually.
Okay. How have you adapted to the two different styles, and how difficult is it? Are you more comfortable with one or the other?
So I like freestyle a lot better. I think it's a lot more fun. There's big moves, so 4-point moves and 5-point moves, mm-hmm. which it just makes the whole thing a lot more fun.
Finished in 4th?
Oh, yes.
Tell me about the competition out there and what that all was like.
Definitely something that's not like comparable to like local tournaments around here. But it's good to get out of your comfort zone, and that's exactly what I did, and it's going to make me better.
Let's rewind. 2 years ago you started wrestling? That's it?
Yeah, so I started my freshman year, and now I'm a junior. So I just competed my 3rd season.
And what made you get into the sport, and what was the attraction? Did someone push you into it? What was how did you get started?
So I started with jiu-jitsu when I was younger, and jiu-jitsu and wrestling are very similar in the way they're both combat sports. That kind of made me want to try wrestling. And I really am bad at basketball, and that was the only other winter sport like available to girls. I would pretty much like foul out of every game that I played. So knew it wasn't the sport for me, and there really isn't any other like winter sports like for girls because swim is during the fall. And with the jujitsu background, I just figured like why not?
And when did you realize how good you were? And how did you get to be, it's not just even just competing. Obviously, there's been a lot of girls who've competed on boys' teams and done fairly well, but never to this level.
Um, I think just through all the hard work that I've put in, I just realized like this is something I want to put all my effort into and like this is worth doing. And I just want to see like how good and like how much I can accomplish within the small time period that I have to do this.
And naturally, the resistance of having to go against boys your size, was there a little bit of a? Do you remember the first time getting on the mat?
Yeah, I do actually. First time I got on the mat, I got mat returned so hard that I got a concussion and whiplash.
Okay, so but
But
you came back.
obviously not enough to make me quit the sport. So
What was
doesn't
what?
kill you makes you stronger.
I think that's very fair. So you had those injuries. Did your parents say to you maybe this isn't the best idea? What was the discussion afterwards?
Um, I don't even really remember there being a discussion. I just remember being like, I'm just gonna heal and I'm gonna go back.
You go
I've
back.
never been like the type to quit or like step down from a challenge. And I've kind of always like not been automatically good at everything that I do, but when something didn't come naturally to me, I see it as like a challenge and I just really wanted to pursue it.
I love it. That is a great lesson I think for all athletes, all sports. It's there's such a feeling of oh I'm not good so I'm not going to play right or I'm not immediately satisfied with how I do. I'm not gonna continue and I see it at young ages now with having young kids. So credit to you to stick with it. When did you realize okay I can do this? I am good.
Probably the first guy match I ever won my freshman year. I actually told my dad right before the match, I was like, if I don't get a takedown this match, I'm quitting. And I ended up winning that match. And it was like at that point, I was just like, okay, like I'm getting the hang of this. Like I can do it.
Who are the influences? Obviously, Coach Bernducci, your father. Who are some of the influences on you, and who's helped kind of push you to get to the level where you're at?
A big shout out to my coach from my club, Grant Paswell. I would not be where I am right now without his support and his guidance. Uh, Being a part of his club has made me not only a better person and a better athlete on the mat, but off the mat as well.
That's great, and that's with GPS. Is that right?
Yeah, it's in Armonk.
Yep, it's right near where I live, so I know exactly. I was going there to drop off my daughter at dance a couple years ago, and it wasn't crowded. Now this year, last couple of years, I've noticed the cars overflowing. So how much has the sport
Yeah.
grown on the male and female side?
Yeah, I think over the past couple years, especially for women's wrestling, it's just exploded in popularity. I think our area in Section One's a little less. It's a little less popular. I think it's more popular upstate and in Long Island, especially. But I think we'll catch up eventually.
Yeah, you are the first female to ever win the Super 32 160, which you did this past season. You won the first. You're the first Section One athlete to win a New York State championship, and just to be able to not many athletes. Some athletes have great numbers, stats, whatever, and they go into big colleges. But to be the first to do something, what does that mean to you?
It just means that I get to pave the way for other athletes to then pursue their dreams. And I'm just really happy that I get to be a part of that because I look up to other athletes that have come before me, and that's what gave me the confidence to be able to do what I do. So if I can give other girls or even other guys like confidence to chase whatever goals they have, like that's really great to me.
That's amazing. What is the future for you? We'll do short term future. What does the rest of the summer look like for you and into the fall?
So the rest of the summer basically looks like maybe a week break from wrestling because I just finished a big training block and then the tournament. And then starting in the fall, it'll still be like freestyle wrestling up until Super 32. And then after Super 32, maybe I'll get in a college open. And then by then, the boys' season will start, and I'll be wrestling on the boys' team again this year.
Absolutely. And how about beyond that? So we're looking into fall of 2025. Where do you envision yourself? Are you looking to wrestle in college, go on beyond, or any other goals you have?
Yeah, definitely looking to wrestle in college. I'm not really sure what the plan is right now, just because there's so many programs popping up. Um, but I'm definitely excited to see what the future holds for me, and I'm willing to work as hard as I need to get to where I want to go.
Absolutely. Well, Adriana Palumbo, congratulations on an amazing season, amazing career so far, and just as I said, it's just this idea that in order to be good at something at the high school level, you have to start really, really young. It's not, you kind of disproven that by starting wrestling 3 years ago, which is remarkable. So congratulations, and best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.